Usual, you know what day it is. It's slightly slanted Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Just another day in the Milky Way. How's everybody doing today? I'm having some technical issues, but other than that, it's been a great day. How you doing today, Steve?
Pretty good in yourself there, Ryan.
It's been a technically trying day.
Oh, here, let me turn this down. Here's some technical issues. There we go. All right.
Are you
Now we're good.
streaming live tonight?
No, no, I'm just trying to get in on the chat and see who's all with us. Judith, Gareth, Mary Wins. Hi, you guys. Joanne, don't shoot the messenger. Glad you could join us. But
Howdy,
yeah,
folks.
but yeah. What's your week been like?
Man, I'm telling you what, I've been burning the candle at both ends, to be honest with you. I've been working on actually Milky Way music. I might as well go ahead and tell everybody now because I'm going to be announcing it this week anyway. All of my music videos that I do during the mornings, I've started another channel, and it's called Milky Way Music. I will get the link up, and I'll have it in the description on my videos and on the live streams the rest of the week. But anyway, so I'm going to do that in hopes that, after that I can monetize, but we'll see how it goes. But anyway, I'll be starting Milky Way Music, so just make sure you check that out.
Well, I definitely will, man. That's awesome.
Well, thank
Yeah,
you. I appreciate that.
I mean, you're
So
gonna
what
be.
you got going this week? I know you
Well,
made a video today, right?
I made a few, few, two or three, and then I erased a couple from yesterday. I don't know. Yeah, I'm all over the place as usual.
That's
ADD,
another
that's
thing
me.
I've been doing. I've been on a video tear too, trying to catch up. So
Yeah.
creativity just a flowing.
Speaking of which, your intros that you were offering up, I really took a liking to that one you made for Anya.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
So,
that.
yeah, I want one ASAP, please.
We can definitely hook you up. I can
Definitely.
accommodate that. Yeah, I'd be
So anybody
glad.
that needs an intro for a channel, go to Milky Way as well. He's a jack of all trades and a master of
Some.
everyone. Some. Okay,
Some.
there we go. That was one of my dad's famous lines. It was jack of all trades, master of none. But I don't know if the
Well, that's
master.
why I changed it to some, because I like to think, at least maybe some.
Yeah, but then wouldn't that let ego creep in?
Oh, no, 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 no! It ain't nothing about that. But I mean, you gotta give yourself a pat on the back every now and then.
Well, this is true. This is true. Very true. But yeah, today I had a couple epiphanies. I've on my journey thus far. I kind of hit a stagnant, kind of archonic flavored patch in my learning ability or my learning over the past week or past couple weeks, and I was kind of stuck on the dark brightness. And if anybody's aware of the Emerald Tablets and how they speak of the Dark Brothers and the Light Brothers, and some are of the light and some are of the dark. Well, the dark,
Yep.
bright ones kind of crept into my existence, and I think it's good to know things exist, but I don't think it's good to dwell in them. And
So
to
wait a minute. What do you mean crept into your existence?
It crept into my existence because I now believe that all is mind. All is, we manifest everything through our minds. You have to think about the peanut butter and jelly sandwich before you make it. That's the base of, what I mean? That's how I see things, and that's how everything is,
Right.
from the top down, from the bottom up. And this uh, thought kept creeping into my head. What if I'm doing this wrong? And I had quite a few people that are on my side that I love dearly and I appreciate dearly, that just said, "Hey, Steve, don't worry about all that. Just do what you feel is right in your heart, what resonates with you." And,
Absolutely.
you know, these people were saying that thought is negative. Thought is trying to bring us down, or the vibration down. When you read the Emerald Tablets and anything done by Tahuti, Hermes Trismegistus, it's all been on the positive side. But who am I to know everything? I'm not saying anybody's wrong. I'm just saying that for me, I believe that Thoth is trying to raise our vibration, trying to raise our consciousness to the light.
Well, even the worst of people, though, you find some good in them. So,
Hmm.
I mean, I think, it's a learning lesson in any aspect. So, I can see where you're coming from because, we've learned some things from him, whether he's good or bad.
This is true. This is true. And just like everything, you can take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. Now, there has to be a base truth to everything. And in my opinion now, today I came across, and I haven't been much of a biblical type of person, or a, you know, uh, I don't know, uh, a Bible thumper, I guess, just to explain it bluntly. But I today came across the Book of Thomas, the Emerald Tablets, and the Book of John, and somehow it all made sense to me. It all meshed together, and it all complemented each other. I mean, it was just amazing to me. Plus, I came across Dr. Irwin Moon, of the Mooney Institute, and he does sermons and science. If anybody's,
So, was you surfing the internet?
well, I started researching the resonance and vibration, and the empty space that they say is in everything that's physical. Everything that's composed in our physical, everything that is in our existence is comprised of 98% empty space, or something like that, 99.9 or something. I don't know
Yeah.
the exact number, but so then I got to thinking, well, if everything that is truly important is unseen, then what is that unseen we're not seeing? What is it? What is the space between the atoms? Because atoms are all.
Is it pure energy or is it just vast emptiness?
It is the akasa. It is the magnetism. It is the uh, conjugate force of magnetism and the dielectric field that everything exists in. And I was,
So pure energy.
right, yeah. So pure energy, and it's it's way more than that, though. Like, if you think of the analogy, the chicken and the egg, which came first, you know,
Hmm.
because they can clone anything, but can that clone reproduce? Can that clone reproduce another egg? You know what I mean? Can that pig have pig babies? And that harkens back to the whole story of the Anunnaki and all that stuff about Anina, and when they genetically manipulated us, supposedly. And I don't know all that story, and I shouldn't even touch on that. But my point is we tend to think of everything that's physical is real. Everything that we can touch, feel, taste, smell, whatever, is real. When in actuality, the real things in life are are formless to us. Form is really of the formless, and formless is the unseen, the spirit, the soul, the 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 electricity. And it's kind of crazy, because if I did a video on the whole, because I had an aha moment when I seen the red blood cell in the shape of it. And amazingly enough, it's the infinity symbol when you look at it sideways. And then if you turn it top down, it's the donut, it's the plane of inertia, it's the toroid, just like the Anu, just like the vortex mass principle, just like everything else, the phi ratio, it's all, just everything's just a fractal within just like we've been saying and talking about, and it was like,
Repeating
whoa.
patterns.
Right. And then I got into thinking, well, is the heart the seat of the soul? And I kept thinking, and then the very next thing I looked up on that Mooney Institute was the this video I'm talking about, where it showed the heart, and what they do to have a heart transplant, and they stop your heart, and if they stop your heart, but they're still pumping your blood and making your lungs work, then you're pretty much, where does your soul go during that? Do you have a near death experience? Is that the NDE? Well, I had an NDE,
Yeah,
and I
that's a good
never.
question because there would still be blood flowing through the brain.
Right. So where is your soul then? I believe it's in the heart. It's in the blood. It's the thing that holds your memory, and it's odd because all. If you're familiar with Ken Wheeler, he's
I think
theoriopathist.
it's just a lot inside of us. That's why, like, supposedly with this 5D ascension, we eventually evolve into light bodies. So the blood
Well,
would.
right. I believe we evolve into light bodies when we
I
die.
think we're pure energy, to be honest with you,
Yes, we are. Well,
because the
this is
human
just a
body is
suit.
99 point something percent empty space too.
Right. If you go by the principle of everything being, yeah, right. Because we're matter. And like I said, is everything that really matters unseen? Is it? And I believe it is. And that is the force that, because we are all part of the one, and we are all one at the same time. The whole
Yep.
holographic principle that we talked about, that CIA paper poignantly pointed out. But to get back to the blood cell is the carrier of knowledge. Is the carrier of our consciousness, and it is the thing that runs through our pineal gland, runs through our heart, runs through our organs, runs through
Runs
our
through
chakras.
everything.
It runs everything. It's the life force. It's the river
Well,
of life
blood
that
is the
flows
life
through.
force. There's no doubt about that.
Right. And I came across Ken Wheeler saying, and I asked him the question. I'm like, so is consciousness real? And this guy's the king of magnetism. He's the one.
So what do you
There's
say?
he said that our conscious without water and fluid dynamics, there would be no consciousness. Because if you ever watched Dr. Maramoto, he does those rice experiments where he puts the 3 rice bowls in the same exact environments, and then treats one way, treats another, and loves the other one. And the one that
My
he showed,
first live stream ever was with Suji, and that's exactly what we talked about.
yes, that right there is proof positive that that in energy is what it's all about. So what holds the memory, water, fluid, our blood, because we're made up of what, 80% water, 70% water.
Yeah,
You
at
know,
least.
nebula. If you look at the nebulas in the universe, they're loaded with water. That's the
Oh,
ocean.
well, I mean, that's like I just put out a video on Milky Way, well, on this channel, and it was a NASA video, and it was talking about lightning through the solar system, or actually through the universe. And it was showing lightning in all these different places. Well, according to this video, for lightning to exist, there has to be water.
Bingo. Bingo. I didn't even see that video, and I totally agree with that, because
Yeah.
the friction of the water is what causes the static electricity in the ether. But I think everything is a give and take of electricity, electrons. Like our atoms are miniature solar systems unto themselves.
Yeah.
Just like the atom is 98% empty space, so is our solar system.
Well, that's like a neuron looks exactly like our universe does.
Exactly. And that's the whole fractal within a fractal within a fractal, from our molecules to the Planck structure, all the way up to the macro, all the way. If you go to the solar system scope and you put it on fast forward through the months, and you see it and you back out of it, and you'll see just how amazing it is. And you can actually see how the further you get out from the sun, how the planets slow down and they go, exponentially slower, slower. But I mean, every one of those has a system around it in itself, and is part of the one in itself. So that one is part of that one is part of that one. It's just
Right.
amazing to me, and it's like, whoa. And I never thought of it as the memory of us and the memory of the Akashic is held in the water flow. I never thought about it really until today, and it was just like, wow. And that could be the reason why our planet is being so pissed off, is because it's holding the memory of all of us pissing in it. You know what I mean? And pissing on it is what I meant by that, not by pissing in it, because that's fluid too. But I mean, But you know what I mean? We're treating it like shit, and we're all being. And I can't say that because I think we're starting to come around, because I go through my day now deliberately trying to be nice to everybody that I come across and see what the reaction is. And I come across nothing but nice people.
Really, that's great. Well, I mean, like I said, most people are. I'll try if I make a point if I see somebody grumpy, like I'll make sure I'm super nice to them.
Oh, that just pisses people off, though, too.
But most of the time, you make people's day, and you get good responses. That's what I'm saying. It's great to try to just spread that. Like,
yes,
I make a game of it. I guess I'm a boring person.
No, that's one of the best games you could ever play is being nice to people, and just gauging reaction, and seeing where we're sitting in the big picture. Because sure, the dark exists.
Yep.
But light always prevails. We will all attest to that. But then again, you have to remember that everything isn't unicorns and lollipops and rainbows, right?
Nope, that's true.
But we can give our energy to that thought and live more on the light. I'd rather live 52% in the light than 48% in the dark, or 52% in the dark. So
absolutely, yeah.
So my point with this is I noticed in the last couple of weeks, well, the reason why I think that archonic push came back to me, that negative push, and that negative mindset creeped back into my thought pattern, was because I was trying to be nothing but nice to everybody. I mean, constantly, and I was, being happy, and lovey and dovey to everybody, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Because we are love, I get it. But I mean, if you propagate that too much, I believe somehow, some way, the yin tries to get the yang, or the yang tries to get the yin.
It's all about balance, and trust me, I've found that out myself lately, because I've had a few bouts where, like, sometimes just enough is enough.
Yeah, right, and it somehow comes back, and I don't know how. I don't know what the whole construct of that is, but it's trying to balance itself out, I believe, because too much of a good thing can be bad too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You drink 40 gallons of water, you're gonna die. Because you're just going to be overhydrated. How can you be overhydrated? I don't know, but I've heard of people dying off of drinking too much water.
Oh yeah, I've heard about
it. So I don't know. What do you think of that? Do you think that we could be onto something, or the people that have brought this to my attention be onto something, like Ken Wheeler and them, about the consciousness wouldn't exist without a medium such as water as holding its memory? Because energy is one thing. Does energy hold the essence of itself, or is energy just energy, a free-for-all energy? That's what I mean by that.
Well, I don't know, but it keeps bringing, I don't know, this is just what's popping in my mind, but we still have these 3D bodies here. And maybe that's why they call it the prison planet. I don't know. Maybe these bodies are our prisons. Because, some believe that this is sort of a punishment, being sent back here and having to live through this.
See, that just goes back to perspective, doesn't it? Like, if you think something is, then it is, because man is what he thinketh, right? I mean, but,
true.
There's another one of them cliche statements that just, is, knock, knock, Puddinhead,
Right.
But I mean, who can say either way? But I can say from my perspective that's what's happened to me recently, that somehow, and the weird thing is like in the Emerald Tablets, I don't know if I just said this or not, but the dark brightness, the dark brothers of bright, the dark brothers were like nothing better than to have ones that have walked in the brightness, that have led a life in the light, because what better way to get more of the light to the dark? What I mean by that? So that's the give and take. But I mean, they'd like to have those, and these couple of people that I'm talking about I held in high esteem, and I thought they were gurus in a sense, as far as humanity's concerned, and teaching us the ins and the outs of what is about what's going on in our society. Now, like I said, it's good to know that that exists, but I'm not going to dwell on it. And that's probably where I should leave that at. Otherwise, I'm dwelling on it, right?
Have you ever listened to any of that Cryon?
Mm-mm. What's that?
Just check it out sometime. I can't remember where he's from anyway, but he does these inspirational, but it's all about, speeches about the Ascension and basically everything that's going on right now.
Right.
And I can't remember I think it's higher. I don't know. I'll send you the link. I'll look for it because it's definitely interesting, but it's called Cryon, Kryon.
Oh, I've seen him come across my wall before. Oh, Cryon. I was
Check
thinking.
Definitely,
I was thinking
got some good jewels in there.
Some jewels.
Mm-hmm.
Whose jewels? These jewels?
Huh?
Whose jewels? These jewels? If you know what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
But I think there is. You could replace source, all, or one with God. I believe God is the same as source. There had to be a creator. There had to be, the one. And I believe that one is everybody and the one at the same time. But there had to be a placeholder, a zero before the one. Now, what I mean by that is there's an unknowable truth that we will never know of what started it all. Or the thought, because today I was, Wayne did a show about this, about the word, the logos. First there was Lord, John 1:1. First there was a word, the word was God, and God was with the word is God. Now, what does that mean to you when you hear that? That's the same as the logos. What came first is the logos. What's your opinion on that? Do you have an opinion on that, Brian?
No, actually, I don't have an opinion on that.
But my point is that I think God is the magnetism, is the akasa, is the knowledge, is the wisdom, is the everything. And that knowledge is therefore within us all because we're all connected to it via.
So basically, source or God or whatever you want to call it, then that's just pure energy itself then.
That is God, correct. And for he gave his only begotten Son, for he who believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. Now that to me means that if you believe in yourself, you believe in the knowledge that's within you, because even in John it says the word is with you, and you are with from the light, and the light walks with you. I am the light. Everything is the light with the Lord God. And same with Thoth. He's the light, the way. We are children of the light. We are stars of the morning. We are stars in the making, sons of the morning. It's all interchangeable. This whole date for me, and it's funny that it happened on Sunday of all things, but I mean, it's in a wet Sunday for that matter. I was supposed to be hunting, and I was wah.
A little cold up there right now and snowing, isn't it?
Well, it was snowing a little bit, but I mean, it was wet, and you can't go hunting, and and I don't even know if I can bring myself to even shoot at something now because of my mindset now. I'll see a deer and I'll probably go, oh.
No, that's like when I was younger. I used to go hunting with my stepdad and stuff, and man, I just can't do it.
Yeah, I have been able to, and oddly enough, I'm going to tell you this.
But if I had to again, yeah, I can do it. I mean, because I was successful when I did, but it just wasn't my cup of tea, man.
There's something about it that I become one with the woods, and I find more of an accomplishment than actually getting something. Because if you're there in that environment, in that animal's environment, and that animal walks by you, you're in tune with your environment.
It's a rush. Yeah, it's a rush.
And that's what it is. I think for me, that's what draws me to it, is that if I can bring myself to that primal state of where I can pull a deer to walk by me.
What it is, it's that primal instinct in you.
And there is truth in being one with nature, foot on the ground, and there's something that makes you feel alive when you're out there in the woods. And I've had chickadees lying on my shoulder before, and there's nothing like that, dude. Or having a shrew run up your leg, and sit on your lap.
I've been able to pet a deer before.
What? In the woods? In the woods.
Yep.
No
I mean,
way.
of course, now it was around a park where there's a
Oh,
lot of people and stuff, so
eh,
it's pretty tame.
you sure
But
you weren't
still,
at a petting zoo at the pumpkin patch?
oh, yeah,
With the quarters and the oats and the thing.
down there at the racetrack.
Okay, that's funny. Yeah, but yeah, I've never heard of that before.
You
Having a
know,
deer.
it's funny. Would you ever thought, we were talking about Planet X earlier. We go from Planet X, looking at, researching on that, to now we're talking about the stars and spirituality and pure energy.
And deer.
When you were sitting there talking, I was just sitting there thinking, like, man, it's amazing. Your evolution, like, yeah, just looking back on it, it's amazing. It's a
You
beautiful
know,
thing.
it's amazing to see all of our evolution.
Yeah, this
There's
waking up, like,
right,
I'm amazed every day.
and it's funny how our paths are all a little bit separate, individualized. But
Yep.
you know, for me,
Intertwined.
the community that we have is beyond reproach. I mean, there's no other community that ever been privy to or come across that can hold a candle to how the us and
No,
we
it's
communicate.
truly soul family, I believe.
It's pretty cool. And a lot of people have said that to me. Like last week after the show, that people were like, "Holy cow!" I drug had to drag a couple of people that haven't been watching our live streams, and I dragged them over here, and they was like, "Whoa, man, you put together a pretty good group of people over there. That's amazing. You should be proud of yourself." And I was like, "Wow, that's pretty." And almost brought me to tears, actually. Yeah, I was like,
Well,
"Whoa."
that's like, man, I hate it because I can't follow chat as much because I swear that they're talking about better stuff than we are.
Right, right. That's typically I'm involved in chat when everybody knows me. I always got an opinion and something to say, but I try to add something to the mix, and that's what everybody in our chats do is that they thought provoking ideas, and people are just supportive of each other, and that's what we need more of in our life. And I
Yep,
think that's what
absolutely.
everybody knows. That is part of this community or coming to be part of this community is that we are one, man, and we need to just recognize that fact. And sure, we're not going to all get along all the time, but we have to come to the basic fact that we are one, and nothing can, because any thought can steer the consciousness if that thought's in the right nexus point of that consciousness.
Well, that just like in this community, we're actually excelling each other's ascension by sharing each other's stories, and we get to learn about the experiences that others are having, and that helps us with the experiences we're having, and gets us just going faster and faster.
This is
And that's
true.
why it truly is waking up.
Yes, and how awake do I want to be? I want to keep waking up,
Careful
but
what you wish for.
exactly, and a lot of people they come to that point where they're like, "Holy shit," and that's when the dark can creep in because that's where I was just a week and a half ago, and I was stuck on this reading this negative stuff and looking into the negative stuff, and it seemed like it was a snowball rolling downhill, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it was kind of engulfing my reality, and I realized it. I'm like, whoa, it's true, man. It's what you think is what's your reality, and it's
What you think
amazing.
about, you bring about.
This is true. This is true. Be the frequency you want to receive, just like you say.
There you go. Yep.
Good one-liner, and love, peace, and chicken grease may give you a heart attack, but you'll sure be happy.
Right. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, but the whole is the same as the red blood cell. And I know a lot of people like to knock God and religion. Well, maybe not God, but religion. And I too am against the whole dogma of religion and the control structure they're in. That
You said
some
the key word there, control.
control structure they're in. And that's the whole repent or your day is gonna come. You're gonna die or whatever. And
Fear.
yes, fear is the exact thing that we on this planet in this day today right now need to let go of, because in love, in true love, in real love is no fear. There is no fear in love, and it says it in the scripture. It says it in all over the place. In Emerald Tablets it says that. And I always have this book at my side, man. Always.
Is that your love texting you just then?
What, love text on here?
I heard toot, 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 toot.
No, that was Jeff Klein sharing a video with me. He's supposed to be watching my live stream, Jeff. No.
Wah, wah.
Yeah. Hey, Gareth, what's up? Jeff's probably on here too, and I'm talking, but hey, my Sky's here. Hey, what's up, my Skies?
Is it?
Yep, he's in there. Shannon Kling's in there.
Tamato's in here. Yeah, Tamato, you need to get in touch with me. I'm ready to do another show.
Michelle Can-Am Freeze in there. What's up, Sweetness? Matt Dowling. Aloha Light Pro. Haven't heard of you. Nice.
Christine Mild, welcome.
Butterfly Kisses, Divine Goddess. I love that name. Max. Christine Mild.
Jason.
Aloha Light Pro 1432. Fear mongering. We're not fear mongering. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, definitely
What
not.
book is that? I have, this is the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. The Atlantean. Emerald Tablets. See, can you read it? Is it
Yes, sir.
too shiny? All right, there. By Doriel.
Yeah, you're going to have to start coming on every now and then when I'm doing those Nagamati scripture shows. I'm going to do like one a week. I don't know when I'll start that. Maybe next week. Who knows? But anyway, when I started, I'm going to have Gray Wolf. He's going to come on. And I'm going to do some by myself. But I'd like to have you come on and, you know, tackle a couple chapters with me as well.
Definitely. Anything you need, I'll support you, brother.
I know you will.
As long as you give me a discount on that intro. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, I'll hook you up.
No, but like we were saying, man, if this is what you do for your job, go for it, brother. You know, and I'd like to do that too, but I got a stonemason job that I have to pour my heart into every day until it's cold. And you know, watch out when it's winter this year and I'm out there ice fishing. You guys are gonna see me every day, every minute of every day, because that's what it was last winter. For 6 months, I was doing this, looking at a fish hole, making videos all day and all night.
You put up like a shack on top of the ice and all that?
I have I made when I bought it and made it, it was my shed. You know, in my wife's eyes, it was my shed I was building for my backyard, but because it cost me $500. But I put it on a car dolly, so it was movable. You know, I extended the car dolly and 8 by 8 by 8 foot permanent shack. Well, it's a portable. I can just drag it around behind my car. But yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, and there's something about forts and boys. You know, you got to have a fort. And
that's pretty cool. That you have like a little furnace where you stay warm in there and all that good stuff.
Yep. Wow, your voice just sped up again, dude. That is weird, dude. You'll like lag.
Did it really?
Yeah, you'll lag, and then all of a sudden go blip, 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 and it's like, holy cow, like a glitch in the Matrix. You did it that day when
it could be.
When Brian and I were on Lunsford. The same thing where your voice sped up. It was just weird, but yeah.
That's what I'm talking about with my 3 sons, by the way. He was going to come on tonight, but actually he emailed me or texted me a little while before the show and said that he wasn't feeling good. So,
did you ever get that message to him about Leonard Coldwell and vitamin C injections and all that?
Oh yeah.
You did? Good. Because I mean, that guy, it seems too good to be true, but who knows? You know, who knows? Because, you know, we've all found out that everything's a lie, and why wouldn't the cure for cancer be a lie too? You know, because there isn't one, but there might be. You know, a lot of people say that there's.
Oh, I guarantee you there is one.
Yes, because there's no money in a cure.
I put my money out, yeah. No,
it's just like the whole free energy thing. There's no money in free energy, right?
Well, you know, with all this genetic manipulation they can do now, dude, they can take the gene, you know, the DNA out for that part, you know.
Right.
Boom, no cancer.
Which leads me to another thought that I just had when you said that is that why, you know, we read back in the Bible that Moses lived 900 years? And it's like, you go further back than that, you go to the Sumerian kings list, and you see that these kings ruled for 20,000 years or whatever, and then 10,000 years. And as the years went on, it was less and less and less. And then, you know, and then you get into the Egyptian time period, the dynasties, and they only, you know, made it 10, 15 years, and then they were off by each other, and you know, that whole dark, nefarious, power hungry greed mentality started taking in, and then that's just, it got worse with the Romans, and then it got worse with the next succession in civilization, and it seems like it's getting worse, right?
Yeah.
Now, is it time for another deluge? You know, is it time for the waters, which is the memory of everything, to wash itself away? Is it time for that? Is that why the poles are frozen? You know, is that what's going on with Earth right now? Who knows? But you know, can we dwell in the negative, or can we just say, hey, death is really life. Life is the fetter that binds us here, and it's pretty much the fear of death that holds us here. You know, and that's, if you ask everybody, I mean, I'll ask myself this right now. I'm still scared of death, in a sense, and I'm starting to come around to, you know, welcoming it. You know, but not because I think there's a consequence to killing yourself. So don't let anybody go out there and pull the trigger on yourself. But
yeah, definitely do not do that.
Definitely do not do that. I love that. Definitely don't do that. Right. Now, because I believe you're destined to come back to the recycler then. Now, I remember the day when being reincarnate would have been good enough.
Well, dude, that's what I've said before. I truly think that it does matter what you do while you're here. If you want to make it on to the next side, it does matter what you do while you're here.
Okay, therein lies my question. What is the other side to you?
I think like it's when we're pure energy.
And then?
I'll tell you when I get there.
Thank you. And then, but remember, I mean, when you first thought of reincarnation, because I think that reincarnation is real. I mean, there's been several studies done on it. That
I've seen, you know, some studies, and like I said, and some, you know, instances through history where it sure seems like it.
Right. And I mean, kids that are 7 years old and they're blurting out people's names that died in a plane crash in World War II and stuff like that. That's, you know, that doesn't come from, you know, just reading a book and you're 7 years old. I mean, it just doesn't come to you.
No.
We've spoke on this before too. Like, you come across somebody and you say, that's an old soul, or you meet a little kid and you just look into their eyes. That's an old soul. Like, anybody have a pet that I had my last dog. You looked into her eyes and she didn't look like she had a soul. You know, she looked like her eyes were one color dark. But my dog now, I look into her eyes and it's like, wow, you can see her soul. You know, my animal even. You can see there's actual consciousness in there. And there's some, like the black-eyed children, you know, do they have souls? You know, who am I to know? But it's just weird to me that our eyes are the portal to our
to the soul.
Right, and it just comes back to the whole Anu thing, the whole fractal and a fractal and a fractal and the spiral and all of it. I mean, it's just, to me, it's just amazing how my journey has gone from, look, there's a planet coming to kill us. Oh, by the way, I'm on the fence again about Nibiru, guys. You know, because of I've seen some things recently that it's like, wow.
breaking news.
Right.
Slightly Slanted's back on the Planet X bandwagon.
Right. I've never kicked it to the curb, but I thought I had it figured out. And, you know,
the curb. That's funny.
I've never kicked it to the curb, really, because that is how I came to all of this, how I came to you. Just like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. I give it full credit. I mean, and I'm not ashamed of it. I went down that rabbit hole, but it got me here.
Yeah, right. And, you know, that rabbit hole is a wonderful rabbit hole to be down. But, I mean, when you first enter that rabbit hole, it's so full of fear and scariness and, you know.
It still is. I mean, you know, if you're asking the tough questions, it is like.
Correct. But I mean, that is the I'm not gonna lie, there's certain things when I think about my family, my kids, You know, the
Right.
look on their face when, oh my God, shit's hitting the fan, and you know, there's a zombie apocalypse going on because, you know, in my opinion, zombies are actually people that are hungry.
Well, I think that zombie apocalypse is basically us looking at our cell phones all the time. It's already a
There's
zombie
a day. That's
population.
a good analogy, man. That's pretty good because we are zombies like that. That is true. As you're looking at your phone, look at that. As he's looking at his phone, he's talking about zombie apocalypse. How often do you do that? I mean, at home, I'll look around my family and I'll say, "You're doing it. You're doing it. You're doing it," and then 5 minutes later, I'm doing it.
Oh, I just try to glance down the chat every now and then to see if there's a comment, you know.
And that's exactly every time you say that around your family members or anybody you're around, they always have an excuse like that. Every time, me included. I'm not saying I'm exempt from that because
I actually turned my phone off for a while today, and it was quite nice. But the reason I did is because it wasn't charging good.
That's funny. I was gonna say that. I was gonna fill that in. You know, I didn't have my phone on me today either because I forgot it. But how do you forget your phone these days? Right?
But I'm telling you, it's nice. Just like I actually did a 48-hour detox. It's been a few months ago though, but I went for 48 hours without getting on the computer, phone, or anything.
What?
Yep.
How did you do that?
I just did it.
You know, and then
going through a period where I needed to just do that. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I think it would be good for everybody to do that. But I mean, it's kind of a necessity in our way of thinking to have a phone or to have a means of, for us especially, because I mean, we've become part of this whole community and what we're doing and what we're trying to do. And, you know, and to be honest with you, I started all this for a selfish reason because I had no outlet. And I'm glad I was selfish in that aspect because I found, you know, the most gratuitous people and the awesome mindset of us. And, you know, I appreciate all of you and you, Brian, and I appreciate anybody who's coming aboard, who wants to join the winning team because we are a winning team and we're a faction of the bigger winning team and we can do it. And
oh yeah, and also I want to thank Blue Moon Botanicals. They're helping me keep this thing going. So yeah,
nice.
I'll be putting their ad on the end of my videos and stuff. Them and Mystical Herbs and Seeds. I love that name.
Blue Moon Botanicals and Mystical Herbs and Seeds.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Blue Moon Botanicals and Mystical Herbs and Seeds.
Kind of flows off the tongue, don't it?
It's kind of like what's the Lions and Tigers and Bears? Don't mind. Go ahead. What'd you say?
I talked to the owner of Charlotte, and she is incredible. She's a woman from Virginia, like awesome person. So definitely check them out.
Cool beans. And
I like talking to her because she's got that southern accent too. And you know, most people, you know, I always say I'm the dumb hick, but it's nice to hear. You know, I like that southern accent.
That
I think it's very becoming.
Well, right. You talk to us people up north here, and you start right. You can notice our dialect right away, right?
No.
People in Minnesota.
No, not necessarily the Minnesota dialect. No.
Well, I went to the East Coast once, and people right away picked me out. You're from Minnesota, aren't you? You're from Minnesota. Yeah, you betcha.
Now I can tell like people from Maine and, you know, in New York, you can tell them accents.
Oh yeah, like
it's because I haven't been around a whole lot of Minnesotans, so.
Right. But the whole correlation. Let's get back to what I wanted to talk to. Finish this with is the toroidal conjugate nature of the ether and the dielectric. You know, the field that everything is in is the empty space. You know, the thing that binds us or bonds us or holds us together, that keeps us together, keeps everything physical in a physical form in existence, is that force. And that force runs rampant through everything. You know, like I was saying earlier, it's the fractal and the fractal and the fractal. So
yep.
that is God. So God is in us all, in our blood, in the fridge magnet, in the computer, in everything, because
everything has energy.
everything that vibrates, resonates, and is God. I mean, everything, guys, everything from the cosmic to the tiniest particles that you could think of. So these particle smashers, these guys at CERN, and what they're trying to figure out, are they truly who knows what they're doing? But the particle smashing thing to me is like the cult of bumping particles. It's just the materialistic, atomistic. Uh, it's just complementing the technocratic or technocracy. That's what I was looking for. The technocracy that we're headed towards, or the merge of machine and man. And I think that we need to break away from, like you were saying, we need to break away from that tech before it becomes. So my point with all this, what I'm trying to get at is, if everything is God, is this part of the plan? Is it? Is it in the, or is it a fly by your seats kind of existence like we do here on this show, that, everything isn't set in stone, everything isn't destiny, or isn't destined to be at one certain point, because it's malleable by our real-time reality. Yep. So can we steer away from this? Is it possible? Or do we want this in us? And I say in us because I think that's the next step. The whole part of the, they want to try Wi-Fi telepathy and all that stuff.
Well, I mean, like they say, the pineal gland is the Wi-Fi of, our ancients. So
right.
I'm sure they'll find a way to tap in, like I said, where we won't have to have these anymore. You'll just.
Because if you think about it, we are already merged with this.
I mean, they're already trying to chip us. So, they right. can doing that. So,
well, they're chipping dogs every day. I mean, it costs you a couple $100, but I mean, you know where your dog's at all the time. But we're already chipped, Brian. This is
yeah. With all the metal particulates that we ingest and inhale, right. I mean, we're walking antennas as it is.
Right. Now, that whole thing, is that part of the plan, though? Is that part of the divine plan? Is that the reason why it's come about? Is it the prophetic manifestation of God? Is it the all wanting it? Or is it us contributing so much to it, it becomes the all wanting it, because we manifest things on the fly. That's our reality. Are we doing this? Is it the right thing to do is what I'm asking. Do we want it to go there? And we need to start really asking them questions and getting that question in everybody's head, because if you think that you're more connected to somebody because you have a cell phone and Facebook, what do you think?
That's a problem.
Do you think you're more connected to people in chat? Do you think you're more connected to people because you have Facebook? Or do you think it's taken away the human experience to a point to where
there's no doubt that it's taken away from the human experience.
Right.
I mean, just as simple as just reading a book. Like, I hate reading stuff on tablets, cell phones. I like a book, dude. I like a physical book if I'm reading something. And I mean, most people don't do that. Well, that's like people make up and break up and propose through a cell phone. I mean, the interaction between humans, it's becoming a lost art. And that's why, like, if you find something or somebody that you click with,
right.
That's a connection.
Very true.
And that's lost a lot of times, now these days it seems, and that's so sad.
Yes, and are we going to stand for it? Is that what we want? Because, like people have said with our children, the whole Facebook like mentality, that whole self-deprecating cycle that people are addicted to getting the like, the thumbs up on something they put out on Facebook. Like, oh, I'm going to the store, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to do that. And then if they don't get it, they start feeling like they're being ignored by all their friends if their friends aren't on the ball saying, go, 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 or and then people turn that Facebook thing into, I'm getting up for work now. Oh, I'm brushing my teeth.
Tell everything. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Right. And that's the people you just shut off. Boom. It's just like me when I was on the Planet X thing. I was out there just throwing everything on Facebook. I had to get off of Facebook because of it, because my family was probably going, man, he's way out there. You know? So then I was looking, you know, making them look bad. In societal view, anyway.
Right.
You know?
Yes, but what does that really mean, right?
Right, but I mean, when you want your kids to not want to hurt themselves because they're liked or unliked, you know, that's what my point was with that, is that the whole Facebook thing is causing kids to just go bonkers, you know, and the fads are pretty much the same as they were when we were kids. Like, I don't know, I haven't seen a Tickle Me Elmo craze as of late, or, you know, remember that, or the whole everybody rolled their pants up at the and stuff in school and all that. I haven't seen none of.
That's what I'm saying. Especially most people, like you said, are on Facebook. So if we're posting all that, and then you're putting all these intimate moments through your life, and then they've got your cell phone, they're tracking you on that, they're taking all these data dumps from all the information you look up through the day, bills you pay, who you talk to. They know us from the inside out. And they're making it now where, like, you know, they close all these brick and mortar stores. They want you to pay with a credit card. They don't want, most places don't want cash no more. They want you to pay with a credit card or a debit card. It's turning in, like, I'm surprised it isn't an all digital currency by now.
Well, it pretty much will be, I'm sure, at some point. But you hit the nail on the head. But the funny thing is, Brian, is I'm in the masonry trade. I'm in the business of building buildings.
Right.
And believe it or not, Amazon is building hubs everywhere, dude. eBay is building hubs everywhere. Brick and mortar buildings, by the way, where all of their all their stuff comes together and then gets, you know, hubbed out. Yeah. So I mean, there's still brick and mortar.
I know it for that. I'm just saying, as far as, but they're wanting, you know, for you places to walk into to talk to somebody. That's becoming non-existent. Even more going back to, like you said, that the human experience.
Right.
That's God. Oh, that. Have you seen Ready Player One?
No, but my kid said I should, because he said that everything I talk about, it's in there.
It's a movie exactly about this. It's in the future, and in the future, everybody doesn't go anywhere. They have these trailers stacked up on top of each other, and they live in a virtual reality world. That's the world they choose to live in, because the world outside sucks so bad.
Like a permanent holodeck?
Yeah. Wow. They stay plugged in.
That's crazy. So that would be, you know, all is mind, pretty much. But is that what we want? Or it's like WallE, that movie WallE. If you know, I know I propagate or stump for a lot of children movies or children shows, but, you know, hey, I got kids. Like right. Transylvania 3, you know, that was amazing to me when I came across that movie. It was like, whoa. You know,
I still need to watch that, man.
You got to see it. And there's a couple more.
This is 3 weeks in a row you've told me that, and I still haven't watched it. So I will watch it this week. Next week we'll talk about it.
And WallE, have you seen WallE? With Eva, you know.
I don't think so. I think it's enough. But I've been meaning to watch it, because I'm kind of getting into a lot of these movies, especially now I'm finding out there's so many messages that's just hidden in every one of them. And
it's funny, because all these messages I never once seen until I woke up, you know, and you don't. Right. And it's weird. Yeah, everything in our existence has been hidden, and it's hidden under the guise that it's negative. You know, like I've said in the past, the eye in the triangle, the Star of David, you know, all of these symbols were actually the meaning to everything, and they're vilifying them, or somebody or something is vilifying them. But I half believe that I'm not 100% on this, but that it's vilified for the reason of hiding it. As odd as that may sound, you know. Mm-hmm. So it's created as an evil thing, or not created as it, but created, you know, the symbolism is the thing that, I don't know, describes it as a good thing, but then it's vilified into the negative. So you won't know it's good until you look for it. It's the veil, you know. It's the thing that hides it, that gives it away. In essence, now that I'm awake, you know, you look for the things that you think are most evil, and most of them turn out to be wow. Or the things that you never thought were evil are the things that are like spelling words, the broken word, you know. It took place of the symbol. And when symbolism was the language, there was no ifs, ands, or buts about what that symbol meant. But there's ifs, ands, or buts about what every word means. You know?
Yeah, true.
You put a bunch of symbols together, and then, you know, it makes it a bunch of words or a bunch of meanings for one word, you know? And that's what the broken word was. That's what I think the whole Tower of Babel thing is and all that. You know, and it's kind of odd that we just did this full circle, talk about everything under the sun, and we're coming back to everything is one. We are all one, no matter what. We are all part of the whole. And, you know, we can do with what we can do with that what we will. But in my reality, I'm going to do what's right. And I'm going to say, hey, rock on, brother. Rock on. And I'm going to be happy, and I'm going to be supportive, and I'm going to be loving. And
that's all we can do for each other, man.
That is all we can do. But hey, I had a good time here tonight. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
What you got going on this week?
This week I'm gonna do more of the bricklaying, stone masonry work, and hopefully by next week I'll be all done with that, and I can go on my ice vacation, which is 5 months long, and I'll be happy. No, I'm just kidding. Don't tell my wife that. No, I'm just kidding. No, I do work in the winter, you know, mostly to do with snow plowing, snow removal, or odd jobs, you know. But I mean, pretty much in the winter, it's my fun time, and that's why I love living in Minnesota, man. A lot of people are like, it's too cold, it's this or it's that, but I love the snow. I hate being hot.
You know, I don't hate it, well, but I don't prefer it either. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I love it. I just love all the sports, you know, the snow sliding. I love it all. I mean, everything across the board. I love the winter. It's just a beautiful time, you know, except for when the snow has got your car stuck and you got to shovel 3 feet out of this driveway. That's the time it sucks. But I mean,
like I said, it's been cool here. It snowed in the mountains here a couple of nights ago, like just, you know, light snow though. But, you know, it was pretty warm today, but oh my goodness, I got freaking hit with some chemtrails today. But it actually, man, you know, those chemtrails a lot of times when it's beautiful. It really is. Sometimes it makes some beautiful skies, and that's the way it was today. So.
Right. I mean, I just seen some chemtrails in my area. What was it, 3 or 4 days ago? That it was amazing what it did. And it was kind of soupy and nasty. But, I mean, you're right. When you see... What's your opinion on these scalar type clouds before we go? Have you seen those where it looks like a bunch of ripples?
I think it's frequency waves. I think it's, yeah.
What do you think's causing it?
Man, they've got those freaking, you know, those, God, I can't even remember the name, ionosphere and stuff like it. And they're messing with the ionosphere and stuff. Okay,
now get this. On a video I did recently, those scalar waves, I used to think the same as you.
That was a good video, by the way.
Those scalar waves, you seen that video with the how the sun had the, I mean, it was just weird. But did you notice that they propagated away from the sun? It was the sun itself that was causing them ripples, like it was the rock thrown into the pond.
Okay, then what if it's, you know, the sun actually does pulse off energy?
I believe that's what's going on, and I believe that they actually manipulate whatever thing they're putting in the chemtrails. Like if you go to get your car painted, they have your car in a negative state, and then they positively charge the paint, so it goes straight to the paint. You know what I mean? Or to the car, to the surface, without any overspray and all that stuff, and it gives you a better paint job. So I think they charge whatever particles they're putting into these chemtrails to propagate towards the sun. That's why these banks of clouds are at the sunsets and the sunrise. And I recently looked in his ionospheric D wave, the compilation thereof. You know, I think it's the dielectric medium, or, you know, it's the upper, the lower part of the upper atmosphere, the ionosphere. But the lower part is the D layer, which is activated by the sun itself. Right. And maybe the cloud banks at the horizons are because the sun hasn't risen to, because notice how you don't see chemtrails usually from like 9 o'clock until about, you know, the afternoon, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 they're everywhere. Now that's where I've been stuck at. Why are they doing it at that time, and why aren't they doing it during the day when the sun's right overhead, really frying you? They do it, but not like they do at the horizons. So that I think maybe that it's because the D wave is, or the D layer is what's really the protection from the X-ray or gamma rays, or the UVC or whatever is inundating us right now.
Right.
So maybe that was my theory on that. But anyway, I had a good time here, and as always, thought-provoking and good thinking, and thank you.
Well, thank you. And
And
until
thank
next
you all
time.
in the chat and for joining us, and I appreciate it. And on to you, Brian.
Absolutely. Tomorrow night, Jason Parker, Tactical Sovereignty. Be there, be square. Be the frequency you want to receive. I love you all. Have a good night. Well, hell yeah.
Cool.